All right, so welcome again to this part. I have to drink water. Sorry. Yeah. So we are here. The present day applications of the blockchain. I know this is what some of you have been waiting for to really see. I mean, this blockchain we are talking about. How is it being applied? Is it just because a lot of us when we hear blockchain, we think of cryptocurrencies. For short, crypto. And we think, blockchain, crypto, this is scam, you're going to lose your money. Or maybe just think about investing. I put in some money and I get some money. This is what we really have about the blockchain. I buy the Bitcoin, I get some Bitcoin, I get some money, it appreciates in value, it crashed, I lost my money. These are the things we think around the blockchain. So, but there's a lot more about the blockchain. That's one of the reasons why you're taking this course. So let's look at the present day application of the blockchain. And I really pray after listening to this, you really see that the blockchain is worth more than perhaps any misconception you've had. And I know some of you here are very smart people, you already know a lot about blockchain, so don't study along with me. I don't know what's in my eye. Sorry about that. Now, in our present day, the blockchain is being used for so many things already. Although it's still growing in those areas, but the field to be explored is so wide that it is gaining immense attention. Some of the areas in which the blockchain is currently being applied includes secure sharing of medical data. Secure sharing. Do I need to write this? Let me just say it. Secure sharing of medical data. Of course, now I'm going to be explaining. These are just bullet points, but I'll be explaining. Now, when we talk of secure sharing of medical data, imagine you going to an hospital and the doctor doesn't need to ask you what has been your previous health challenge. Let's say you are someone with asthma, for instance. I'm not in the medical field. Okay, let's say you are someone with asthma and then you happen to fall sick with another kind of sickness, perhaps, and then you went to an hospital and the doctor is going to give you a particular treatment. But usually what happens is this: there are some treatment that cannot be given to people. There are some treatments for a particular sickness that cannot be given to you because you have asthma. So usually one of the best things is for the doctor to already know the ailments you had before, isn't it? So once he can see your previous health records and he can know, okay, he can be clear on your state, and he can even use it to know very quickly your sickness when he's trying to diagnose what's wrong with you. So instead of the doctor having to ask you that might not even have so much knowledge about this yourself, if your record has been stored on the blockchain, the doctor can actually go there and pick your record from the blockchain, isn't it? And now the crazy thing is this, because this looks very crazy, but I want to believe you understand that part to an extent. Okay, so just imagine there is a record of your health. See, all your health records are being put there on the blockchain. Why on the blockchain? First of all, because nobody can hack them. Of course, they might not be made very public. They can be encoded and cryptographed, that only people with some keys can access them. Okay, and you too, once you go to see your doctor, you can access them on the panel yourself, and then you just have to check the record and check that it is on the blockchain. So once he sees it on the blockchain, they can trust the record that you are giving to him. They can know you are not just trying to patch anything, because some people currently they just try to hide some things unnecessarily. I don't know why, but what I've learned so far is hide nothing from your doctor. So with that, you can securely share medical files. Another doctor from any other place can just go to the blockchain and get access to your information, the ones you want him to see once you sign into the blockchain. So you are securely sharing your medical file. Nobody can go there and hack into your medical record. Because one crazy thing about this, one crazy challenge with having medical records online is some hackers have always tried to hack people's medical record to now blackmail them and say, look at this guy, he's not fit for this position, he has so and so. And it's going to be there. So, but with the blockchain, nobody can hack it. Nobody can do anything to it. People, if the way, based on the way it's going to be encoded, people can't even get any access to it because it can be cryptographed. All right. I mean, it can be protected using cryptography. I don't know if there's anything like cryptographed. English. Okay. Now, in more beautiful times, with the way the world is going, and with IoT, of course, I believe you know what IoT means at this stage. Internet of Things. Your doctor, it doesn't have to be the one recording on the blockchain. Okay, so there are a lot of bio variables people attach to their body, people wear on their body. These bio variables can track your heartbeat rate, can track how you slept last night, can track of how you have been sleeping for the past few months, can track how your eyes are functioning, can track how your legs are functioning, can track any single thing you want them to track. These bio wearables are crazy. Some are just like rings on the finger, some can be attached on the chest, some can be, I don't have anyone on currently though. So, but these are very, very crazy bio wearables. And so you don't have to be the one putting the data, or any doctor doesn't have to be the one putting the data. These bio wearables can be uploading some of the data to the blockchain. Of course, because it's on the blockchain, it's secure. Nobody can just go and tamper with it unless you want them to access it. Because of course, such data are going to be encrypted and you have the private key to access such data. So once you go to an hospital, what your doctor can just request from you is, please can you go to your blockchain and show me the data. You might not even know how to interpret the data. Whereas the variable can just say your heart rate is so so and so and so per so and so. You don't even know what it means, but your doctor knows what it means. So you can just sign in on the blockchain and your doctor goes there and really see what has been happening to you for the past few weeks. I can tell you, hey, you see, this is what is wrong with you. And the beautiful and powerful thing about this is you don't even need to spend money to go to the hospital. Isn't it? You can't even need to spend money. You can just be at home and you're feeling sick, and just from where you are, there are, of course, there are computer networks where you can sign into a device to another device from your device. Zoom even does that. I can access another device from my device on Zoom. So you can just go to the doctor's interface, chat with him, sign into your blockchain account, and it's going to see all your record and say, hey, I think I know what is wrong with you, even without you going to the hospital for a physical checkup. And imagine someone is sick in the hospital and the person has to do a bed rest for some days, usually. With these bio wearables and with the blockchain, you don't even have to stay in the hospital for those complete days. Doctor can tell you to go home and he can be tracking your data on the blockchain and to see how you are performing at home. With that, currently, if you're in America, you can save over $2,000 on that, avoiding bed rest. You can save yourself the headache of going to transport. You can just be in your office, you're having slight headache. What is wrong with me? I felt headache in the morning. I'm feeling headache in the afternoon. I'm feeling somehow. Hello doctor, please, can I access my blockchain and show you some of my data to see, I don't know, I've been feeling headache. Can you look at this data and tell me what you think is happening? You just send it in your blockchain, and the benefit of using the blockchain is even the doctor, nobody anyhow can have access to it. And the data cannot be hacked and changed manipulated by someone so that you start feeling bad that, hey, I have to show the sickness, whereas you don't have it. You know whatever data is there is exactly what the bio-wearable is telling us. So secure medical data sharing. With this medical data sharing, you can just, on the go. In short, you can know because of course, a sickness doesn't just come. It gives you symptoms. Some of them you might not feel. You might not even feel you're having these symptoms, but it's piling up. But this bio-wearable can be sending signals to the blockchain. And with oracles like Chainlink is another blockchain. This thing can be receiving APIs from hospitals. So that hospitals, even doctors might not even be there physically to attend to you. Hospitals can just have APIs connecting with your blockchain using Chainlink blockchain, because Chainlink is an algorithm. It's a blockchain on its own. Chainlink, one of my favorite blockchain. So the hospitals can just use Chainlink's blockchain to connect with your own blockchain in a way, and they can already be saying that once the data bio-wearable is sending to your blockchain, is saying, these guys, based on your heart rate and everything, you are most likely to have an heart attack in the next 2 weeks. The hospital, which connecting with Chainlink, to be able to, of course, everything is going to be cryptographed, so even the doctors cannot see it unless you give them access, can already trigger an alarm to you from wherever you are, and you just receive a message on your phone app that, look, oh boy, or look, oh lady, look, oh guy, in the next 2 weeks, if you continue like this with your stress level, you might most likely get an heart attack. Or in the next 2 years, if you continue like this, you might most likely get a stroke. You've not even gone to the hospital for a checkup. You are already being checked, and your medical data is securely handled. So a lot of people have these ideas. A lot of companies want to do this. A lot of companies have started doing this, but they always have one big problem: the files are not secured. Hackers are tampering with these files. So the patient might not even know if what is seen is real. But if they are using the blockchain, it's definitely going to be secured. So that's one of the first crazy applications of the blockchain. just put on your VR and you are playing the game. So things are changing. So one of the places I foresee the world in the closest future is that school and learning and a lot of other things would change. You don't really have to go physically to school or be physically in class to learn. Just with your VR mask, you are just in class. Okay, so you can see yourself as if you're in class, you can see your lecturer as if you're in class, you are all teaching, and it's as if everybody is there. And another place is going to get to is, remember your social media. On social media, everybody has this social status, people have this way, some people have more followers, some people are more influential on social media, and all that. Again, they're going to be kind of a VR world, kind of. That's the way I foresee us going to. There's going to be a kind of VR world, virtual reality world, that can be designed and simulated, and people just put on the virtual reality mask, and you can be going to work on your virtual reality and be earning some money. You can be doing one or two different things on virtual reality, isn't it? So you can be going to work, you can be going to school, you can even obtain your master's on VR, and it's going to be valid. Okay? So that's the crazy place. So you can be in Nigeria with your VR, you are doing some work in India on the internet. So it's very, very crazy. But the beautiful thing is this, in that VR, there might be some items you need to purchase. Okay, so how do we know the rightful owner of the item is going to be on the blockchain? So these items are going to be owned as NFTs on the blockchain. So perhaps you like playing football and you maybe on your VR, you want to play football with your friend, you want to buy a jersey. That jersey can be an NFT that has been designed by a Photoshop guy. He has designed that jersey and uploaded it on that particular VR platform. He designed it, he made the design, he made the logo. So you get, or remember you are passing by on the road, all these big billboards we have. Some and the Photoshop guy or some Adobe guy might have designed one of all these dashboard, all these big screen things you see, billboards we see, and I suppose let's put a place here for advert. And you might want to put an advert there inside the VR. Maybe you are an Indomie commissioner or something, you want to advertise Indomie for them on the VR world, because VR is going far. So you just go there, and that guy is the rightful owner of that space. He can license it to you for a period of time in the VR world. So you see where we are going to. So you might be playing a game in the VR world, you need to get a weapon. It's an NFT. You need to pay for on the blockchain to get access. So these are non-fungible tokens. I know I might have gone too far in making you see, but it's just going to be so crazy. But just think of non-fungible tokens as pictures, artworks, things that usually anybody could just have owned, duplicated, copyright, pirated and all that. But now, being on the blockchain, it is owned by the real designers themselves. Are you seeing it? So this is basically about the idea of non-fungible tokens. So think of music, think of drama. Currently, MI has an NFT with Binance. In case you don't know, for those of us in Nigeria, a lot of, even The Weeknd, for those of you in the US, The Weeknd and the rest, they have different people having. I think Akon has an NFT. So people are NFTing their songs. And of course, you might not see it now because we are still on Web 2. But by the time we get to Web 3, where the blockchain is like the key storage system, you can't pirate things anyhow. You just want to get something and tell you, sorry, you don't have a license for this. You have to get it from the rightful owner of that NFT. So you don't need to put something on Spotify and be getting some. On the blockchain, you control that thing. The money from the license comes directly to you. Not as if you go and put your song on Spotify, someone is trying to play it, you need to pay some amount to get that song, or iTunes and the rest. Of course, those iTunes are like centralized body, but with the blockchain, you are in control. You are getting whatever royalty you're supposed to get from it, from anybody using it. So I know I might have gone too deep, but this is just to give you a surface level idea of how crazy the blockchain can be with NFTs. Then music royalties tracking. That's the next point I have here. Of course, coincidentally, I just talked about some movie royalty thing. So it's just the same thing. With movies royalty, you no longer need to go and put your things on iTunes and the rest. Or even if you're going to put your things on iTunes, because there might just be a blockchain platform like iTunes or Spotify. Of course, I'm going to burst your head by saying Spotify have actually acquired a blockchain project that is on music. So there might be a blockchain platform like Spotify and the rest that is earning with where you go and put your songs, just like the NFT marketplace where you sell your NFTs. So you can put your song there, perhaps as an NFT or as a song based on how the blockchain protocol is working. Once you put your song there, then these Spotify people, the way they get the royalty, because it's on the blockchain now, you're going to know and be able to track how much royalty you're getting, not based on some false data. You're going to see how we are going to see when we get to content management or so, we are going to see how some of the centralized body generate false data. and the owners of some royalties don't even get the exact amount they are supposed to get based on one or two things that are being adjusted and checked. Okay, so but or with the blockchain you can easily track your royalties. You can really see how everything is going because the data is there. And of course, once you are doing business with such a blockchain firm or a blockchain or such a company that is providing such a blockchain service, they will want to be transparent. And of course, the blockchain has this transparency. So they will make a lot of things open, and you're going to see how your royalties is going. You can track it exactly, and because you know this is the blockchain, this thing was not forged. This is exactly how it's happening. So music royalties tracking. So you can get your royalties, you can get your things, I mean, smoothly without having to worry. You produce a song with a producer, it promises to give you 40% of whatever comes from there. You're not going to be worried whether this guy is going to give you. You're not going to start chasing him to give you. You're not going to be worried about, hey, are there more people that have actually paid for my song than I am getting? You're not going to worry about that. With smart contracts on blockchain, that thing is going to be sorted out by itself. Then we have real-time IoT operating system. Of course, IoT. I already mentioned IoT when I was talking about those bio wearables for medical records and the rest. So, but more than that, it's just more and more crazy. Just imagine you order something from Jumia, for instance. Okay, you order something from Jumia, or you order something from the United States, or let me just start with that. You order something from the United States, and you want to really know how far has my goods gone. There are a lot of IoTs trackers that are put on the body of this parcel which you have ordered, and from your phone you can be seeing the record of what is happening, isn't it? And now the beautiful thing about this IoT is with artificial intelligence and deep learning, they can be tracking the state of whatever is inside that parcel, whether it's damaged, whether it's just shook and something just broke. They can track the state. There's a way computer vision and all that thing can track the state, and you're getting this data. Now, some of this data, if it is owned by a centralized body, usually some of this data can be, currently now there are a lot of this data are being manipulated. A lot of this data are being hacked. For instance, there are these vehicles that take money up and down from one location to another. They're trying to take money. There are some armed robbery guys that are trying to rob. They just hack into the computer vision system, shut down the computer that is supposed to take the camera, and whoever is at the back end somewhere receiving transmission of how far the bus has gone loses transmission, can no longer see, can no longer hear. On the blockchain, this data cannot be touched. Okay, and so you are at home, you are very sure that the data I'm seeing of my goods coming is exactly what it is. And I think currently McDonald's is even using blockchain to track how most of the food items they buy is coming from directly from the farm through the from the farmers that are producing them through the wholesalers to them, something like that. So they are really tracking the production, because a lot of times they discover that they're trying to buy a lot of things before they even get to them. Most of these things are damaged. So really they really want to know at what point is this thing getting damaged, so that we can hold that point responsible for this damage. How best can they do it? Most of this data can be hacked by just putting it anywhere. So they employ the blockchain so they can keep accurate track chronologically of how things have actually happened and how it is carefully stored. Okay, and of course, because the blockchain is by its nature transparent, unless things are cryptographed or are not displayed, are not made public. Once by its nature is transparent, so they don't need to wait for the server, a particular server, to upload it to them to see. As it is happening, they are seeing it. So they can really track it. At this point, this is where this good food item got spoiled, and they can hold whoever is there responsible. McDonald's is already doing that. Then that's basically what we call IoT. Okay, so IoT connecting with the blockchain. So in real time, you can be tracking things. You can see what is happening. You can be in school, for instance, in class, and there's just power in your house. You receive an alert that from on your phone that power has come in your house. You want to pump your water, your pumping machine. You can just press a button from here, and you're pumping your machine at home. Or you remember there is this food you forgot to microwave. You already put it in the microwave, but you are no longer at home. You didn't have power, or the power you had was too low, and maybe the kilowatt per hour they charge at that time was too high. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to wait for the rate to reduce, and you just go to your class, and just from your classroom you can be with IoT. You can put on your microwave, and on the blockchain you can see how it's performing clearly without having to worry unnecessarily. Then we go to personal identity security, which is very, 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 very important. Now, how do you verify people? Remember I was saying about this at the beginning of the class. I was talking about ID and people coming. How do we know someone is a member of a citizen of a country and all that? Okay, so but with the blockchain, everybody's record can be on the blockchain, an ID kind of. Okay, and with that, we know this is you. There's no need to. This is you. We have a record of you. We know you are here. We know you're a member of this country. We know there's no. I mean, there's no hearsay. So we can really verify that you're the one, and we can really verify that you're there. This is the powerful thing about the blockchain. So you can be identified crazily. And the beauty about the blockchain is, with the way it's going, your data can be protected by you. There's some current guys called MDT. There's a blockchain project called MDT. Okay, measurable data token. This blockchain project is basically designed for you to have full control of your own data. Okay, you are basically protecting your data. You are not trying to, just imagine Gmail, for instance. You are doing things around Gmail and the rest. So whenever you go to your Gmail and try to send a mail to someone, what do you think is happening? Do you think you're just sending the mail and nobody's watching you? No, Google is watching you. Google knows the mail you are sending. In short, Facebook, if businesses want to come to Nigeria now, I mean Nigeria, and they want to invest in Nigeria, one of the ways they can do it is to go to Facebook, okay, and to say, look, Facebook, based on the data you have, do you think this business is going to thrive in Nigeria? Facebook has a lot of data from your behavior, how you chat, your images. They can recognize you with image recognition. They know a lot of things about you, even perhaps more than you know yourself, analytically, okay? So they can be with all this data extrapolate and say, look, based on the data we have, most likely clothing might not thrive in Nigeria, but there's a particular thing that can thrive in Nigeria. So try this business more. Or clothing is going to thrive in Nigeria. In fact, women wears will thrive in Nigeria because of the data they have about you. So, but on the blockchain, with things like MDT, as you are chatting or doing things, you can protect your own data, and you can only choose to release your data when you want to release it. So, if an investor in the few years when we get to Web3, if an investor wants to invest in Nigeria, for instance, instead of going to a centralized body like Facebook or Google that has the data, the investor will put it out there and say, look, I would like to get so and so data. Would you like to release it? I mean, as we advance, most of this data will be properly structured, so you won't have to do too much headache from your own end. So you will know the necessary data to release, and as you release data, you'll be paid some tokens. So the crazy thing, beautiful thing is, you now know I can choose to release my data and choose not to release it. And perhaps the data I've released to another server or something, I can even have a right to delete it when I want to delete it. Or so, I mean, this kind of things basically. So indirectly, you have more control over your data, and you also earn on your data. A lot of people are earning on your data currently without you knowing. But when we get to the blockchain, when we get to that beautiful era we are dreaming of, you're able to earn on your own data also. So data privacy will become perhaps an issue of the past by then. Okay, so let's see the other use cases I have here. I have anti-money laundering tracking program. Of course, you know this is very, very easy to figure out. From what I've been saying, it's not going to be rocket science again. We said the blockchain, one of the key features of the blockchain is transparency. Okay, as far as the data is not encoded or cryptographed, or I mean one way or the other, anything happening on the blockchain, you can see it clearly. So no matter if a financial institution that wants to do business, I mean in the nearest future, financial institutions that want to do business with people with little or no trust, they're going to run most of their financial aspects on the blockchain, most of their transactions on the blockchain. That's if the blockchain gets the adoption we want. Why? Because on the blockchain, everything there is transparent. You can just go and see the transactions that this company is doing. You can just go to the Explorer and see it on the go. So it's not as if they are having to publish a record of what they are doing, but you are seeing what they are doing, because as it's happening, the blockchain is capturing it. Then, of course, with this, we can track money laundering. We can know, hey, at some point in time, this amount of money was moved. And of course, for that kind of financial institution, they will not want to hide their identity or something. For more transparency, they will want to leave it open. Okay, imagine the government of a country using the blockchain to do all their financial thing, all their spendings and the rest, and they keep it totally open. We already know, okay, at some point, a large amount of money was moved out of this account too. Everything's going to be tracked. And of course, money laundering is going to be very, very difficult with the blockchain. Okay, but there's a lot more to that, but I wouldn't want to go too much. Then we have supply chain and logistics monitoring. Of course, I think I've used this example earlier on. Logistics, I mean, moving goods from one place to another. Supply chain, of course, the goods might sometimes have to move from one spot to another. perhaps you have a raw material that will be processed to an extent before getting to you. So with the blockchain, you can really track what is happening to that goods and know how to handle the whole situation. So the beautiful thing is, of course, this blockchain here again will be working with IoT. So the IoT devices are monitoring, with deep learning, machine vision. You can really track what is happening, send data to the blockchain. Blockchain data is transparent, cannot be hacked, and decentralized. It's not just in one place. So you're going to see what is really, really happening, and you're going to trust the record. So supply chain, what supply chain there, of course, what it means is how just the flow of things from one place or from one point to another point. That's supply chain. Then logistics, similarly the same. So you can track things as they are moving from one. So you are trying to manufacture something now. You are a producer, you are a developer, a designer. You are trying to, or perhaps you guys manufacture cars. Okay. So with the blockchain, you can track the whole process from how the computers and the machines are doing every single thing. You can be tracked. And the powerful thing about the blockchain and AI is, by the time you begin to study the behavior of something, you can simulate another behavior. The best way to get the data and study the behavior of something is to use the blockchain. So with the blockchain involved, we are really getting data, and we are having this data. We are trusting this data that is not something that is false. It is exactly what is happening. Then we can even study with this data, study the behavioral pattern and use it to perhaps simulate another behavioral pattern. So it's going to be very crazy. Blockchain and AI is something we should watch out for in the nearest future. Then we have voting mechanisms. Okay, voting mechanisms. Of course, I've used this example before. You want to vote now. We don't really need to say we want to go physically to a ballot system. You can just use a software to vote. Now, what is the problem with using a conventional software, Web 2 software you build? The software is going to have a database and it can be hacked, because this software is going to have some people that built it, the developers, and they will definitely have a high level of control over the software. So they can be paid, it can be hacked, different things can happen. Already, most of the electronic system we are seeing a lot of things. We are seeing that, in fact, votes are being, people that don't even exist are voting. So we are seeing that happening currently in the electronic system of votes we have. Votes can just be manipulated from nowhere. I think there was a time Donald Trump won the American election, I think around 2016. There was this rumor that the Russians had a hand in the hacking of the whole thing to be able to get the result. It could have been very possible because they were using the usual web development, app interface and database structure. But on the blockchain, you don't even need to, even the company that wrote the code, okay, and deployed everything there on the smart contract or whatever, does not have any right over it again, cannot touch it again. The codes and everything there, as far as they've been vetted by a regulatory body for the smart contract, because there's a body that vets smart contracts. So I go and say, okay, this code, everything is in line with what the people expect from the voting end. Once it's deployed there, the owners cannot tamper with it again. So as far as it's there, we all just go vote. We know whatever is here is exactly what is going to be here. And as each person votes, you're seeing it real time. Just imagine, say 5 people are here now, John, Joseph, James and the rest. We're trying to vote. As John votes, you're just going to see it on the blockchain. One vote has been added by John, if they choose to display the name of the person. And as the votes keep coming, you see it real time. You don't need to wait for any lag, for any result to come. You're seeing it as it's happening. And you trust that result because on the blockchain, even the developers that build that platform can no longer go and do anything to it. So voting on the blockchain is one to really watch out for. And of course, we see a lot of government bodies shying away from it because we know why they want to rig these elections. But with the blockchain, I think election problem will be a thing of the past. The problem will now be after the results are out, do they agree? That will be the next phase of the problem. But whether the results will be rigged or not, that will be a thing of the past. Then we have here advertising insights. Now, this is another very, very beautiful thing about the blockchain, advertising insights. So a lot of these days, because the world has moved to Web 2 so fast, a lot of things we do now on Web 2. Okay, so some of you can be watching this video from YouTube, perhaps Web 2. You can be on any, you all chat daily at least on social media platforms. Businesses are moving online. Very soon, schooling will move online. Almost 50%. 50% of the things will be done physically, and about 50% will be done online. Okay, so we have all evolved so fast in the internet, and because of this, the internet is like a world on its own apart from this physical world that we are in. So on the internet, you have content also, you have things and the rest. So there are a lot of content creators, people trying to reach out to people to sell their product, to market their business, the same way they do in this normal physical world. So now, when you are trying to market your business or sell your product, you usually go to a platform that you believe has a lot of viewers or has a lot of people coming to that platform. So I'm trying to advertise now about, I don't know, whatever I'm doing. I'm ready to pay for my advert. I would need to go to a platform that has a lot of people. Okay, so once I pay, I just believe this platform has a lot of people. A lot of people are going to see my advert. But the problem is this: those that own this platform, there is a proven record. I don't know if I have anything here. Oh, it's not here. So, but a proven record that most of these people that owns this platform, they usually overhype the number of people they have coming to visit their website or so. So they usually overhype these statistics so much. And a lot of people pay, because of this statistics is so overhyped, a lot of people pay so much money to be advertising to people that don't even exist. The question now is, how do I know that this statistics was not overhyped? How can I trust that this statistics these people are giving to me is true? It is very, very difficult. Because no matter how much I have to track it, I can't have access to their database. Even if they're going to open some part of their database to us to see, tell me, I tell you, truth be told, it is what they want you to see that they will want you to see, and that's what you're going to see. So take it or leave it. There's no way you can really verify that. Look, this guy claims he has 10,000 people on his view. Instagram, for instance, they say we have 10,000 people coming that are visiting this particular page. How can we be so sure that actually these 10,000 people are visiting this page? So there is a lot of, I think even the big corporations are sued at a number of times for trying to manipulate such statistics. So people that try to do adverts are usually not getting the best for their service. But on the blockchain, this is a very, very different thing. Okay, it's a totally different thing. As you are advertising, the whole advertising statistics can be totally tracked. So imagine a new software company comes and say, look, I'm using blockchain for my advertising tracking to give advertising insight. So with the blockchain, the ID of everybody, people that are coming can be tagged with IDs. Of course, we already talk about personal identity on the blockchain. There's a way they can be tagged, and you can really know that this is a person. Okay, there's a way, that's another field on its own, using the blockchain for identification. So there's a way you can really know this is a person, and because it's on the blockchain, the data is on the blockchain, you know this data was not manipulated, this data was not hacked. Okay, so it's very, very crazy. Of course, this will come with machine learning and with IoT devices and the rest. So, but with the blockchain, you can really track that it's actually a person that is using this software. So when a software company comes and says, look, I have 10,000 people on my platform and I'm using the blockchain for my insights, then more people are going to trust that, hey, this guy is using the blockchain. They go there and verify. The regulatory body or the blockchain smart contract and the others goes and verify that it is true, these people are actually using the blockchain. Then those guys are going to gain more trust compared to the guy that just come and tell us this page has 50,000 views and nobody can really verify where perhaps if they were just 50,000 views. Advertisers lose a lot of money for this because they are virtually advertising to people that don't even exist. Of course, some will exist, but a lot of people will not exist. So, but with the blockchain, I mean, this can never happen. So, companies that start using the blockchain to provide advertising insights will definitely override most of these other companies because advertisers will now begin to know, look, a company using the blockchain is genuine because whatever it's telling me is true. It's on the blockchain. I have a record for it. This thing is connected with IoT. There's proof for it. This thing can be verified and tracked. So, you see how blockchain can provide advertising insights. So, you as an advertiser, indeed, when we get to Web3, advertisers, businesses that want to advertise, we start looking for those companies that use blockchain. And so this is a very key use of blockchain technology. Then we have original content creation. Of course, this is another very core part. I think I must have said it when I was talking about NFTs. When you create a content online, people can duplicate it. You can sing a song today now. Before tomorrow, somebody has released a version that perhaps someone that has more money than you, has more equipment, and listened to that song and just gone somewhere, touched it up and released it, and they will even think you copied from him. But on the blockchain, this cannot happen. Okay, there's a lot of ways these things are being handled. So that your content, you create your content, your digital signature is there, that content is for you. Nobody else can come and manipulate it. So this is another very different aspect of the blockchain. I won't want to dive deep into, but just know that on the blockchain, once you own something and you are the owner on the blockchain, your digital signature is there, people cannot pirate it. It's going to be extremely hard and virtually impossible to pirate. such a thing. Okay, so that's original content creation. Whatever you have is for you. It's for you. Real estate processing platform. Of course, this is another very interesting one. These days, we've seen a lot of people being frauded online. I have friends that just this, 2020 ending December stroke, beginning of 2021, they were duped because they were trying to get a land and they bought the land, they paid a lot of money for the land. The people gave them some certificates, but at some point, everything was invalidated. You have people that have bought the land and later the government will come and say, look, we own this land, we are going to chase you out, and start demolishing places years after. So the problem is, what is going wrong? There seems to be like a lack of synchronization in this land purchase issue. Okay, someone has a document that he claims that is the document for this land, and he sells the land to somebody. The person buys the land, is living there for 5, 6 years, 10 years. One day the government come out of nowhere and say, look, this is my land. And to even further blow your mind, my parents are currently going through that issue now. Okay, the courthouse we have, the government is on it and saying, look, this is our land, we want to take it off. And it really doesn't make sense. My dad has been trying to resolve this issue, go up and down and all that. They used a genuine surveyor at the start. So those of you that say they didn't use a proper surveyor, they used a genuine surveyor, there are documents, there are proofs. They're taking this into the government and they are on it trying to resolve it. Okay? In the end, they're going to take it to court and drag, and who knows, the government might win. And perhaps there's nothing you'll be able to do about it. So it's a serious problem, land and property acquisition. There are a lot of us, when we were in school, at least sometime when I was in school, I was able to get some money at some point. And I was thinking of buying a land in one of the local, a nearby village around. Even my friend told me about the place. It's a very good land. But the thing is, when you go to buy the land, who are the owners of this land? We have some petty villagers who must have inherited it from their forefathers and their parents, and they believe they are the owners of the land. So you go there and you buy a land from these people. Sometimes they don't even have a clear document to give to you. The chief then can just write a document for you and say, this is the land. And even some that claim to have a document, you bring in a lawyer, they create a document for you and all that. You think you have it and your mind is at rest. But I tell you, next 10, 20 years, even with the lawyer you took, the survey you took and all that, the government can come and say, many years before that, we claimed this land. Many years before these people even own this land, we have claimed this land. And it's another big land issue. So this land issue is not just, it's everywhere. A lot of people are going through it as we are speaking currently and I'm recording this lecture. So the problem is, what is wrong? There is a lack of synchronization in a lot of ways. But the blockchain can solve this problem easily. Okay, so imagine the government, for instance. Of course, they will believe there's a plan, there's an actual plan for the whole land system in a state, of course. And the crazy thing about this plan is constantly being reviewed, being adjusted, and at some point the government can just decide to expand to some other land for some reasons they want to claim to, and they have changed some of these plans. And it's affecting a lot of people currently, affecting businesses. You see a company that is located somewhere being destroyed because they see a renovation plan that is coming up. So we see this a lot of times. So imagine the government now comes up with this whole idea of, they adopt the blockchain. Okay, now with the blockchain, first of all, the whole paperwork about I bought a land, they have this document, and someone else comes to say this document is not the original document. That's going to be totally invalidated because everything is going to be on the blockchain. And well, of course, when the country or the state has on the blockchain, every single land piece is going to probably recorded. Who owns this land piece? Who is the official owner of this land piece? On his own blockchain database, on his own blockchain record, the C of O for that land is going to be there. Okay? So when someone else wants to buy from him, all he has to do is to transfer that digital data which he has on his blockchain to that person. Of course, he's the only one that can do it because he's going to have his private key, and of course, you know the whole way digital signature works. Transfer the whole thing to the other person, and of course, that person now becomes the rightful owner. So when there's a case where who owns this land, all those dragging for land, just go to the blockchain and trace it out. Okay, so we've seen a lot of issues like that. For instance, even in my state currently, there was a time my dad had to go to court to drag a land with someone else. The person claimed to be the rightful heir of that land. And my dad claimed his great-grandmother had received the land from somebody and somewhere, and he should be the rightful heir. And they had to drag that issue over and over and over and over. And at the end of everything, luckily for my dad, he was able to win the case. But if there was something like the blockchain, we don't need to drag, because the blockchain stores things chronologically. At every point when there's an exchange, perhaps we have, let me say we have we have, I don't know, let's say in the year 1900, we had my, I don't know, grandmother or great grandmother, I don't know, and she got the land from someone, automatically that's going to be stored on the blockchain. Then at some point, when my great grandmother, or let's say we have a man that got the land from someone, that's going to be stored on the blockchain. Then that man at some point, my great grandmother did a favor to him. He decided to hand over the land to my great grandmother, even though he didn't sell it. As he's handing over the land, of course, it's going to be recorded again on the blockchain. Then every single thing that is happening on the blockchain is going to be recorded chronologically. So once there's an issue about any land thing, we just have to go to the blockchain and really see. And we can even track the real record of what has happened. Okay, this guy was the owner before. Then it has been passed over to this person, and to this person, and to this person, and to this person. So at this point in time now, this person is the rightful owner of this land. And because of the blockchain, we are sure all these data have not been tampered with at any point in time. And of course, we can therefore trust the blockchain. So now, where does this whole real estate thing come into play? So a lot of some businesses, of course, very advanced real estate guys and some upcoming guys are not really seeing that, wait, this whole blockchain thing makes a lot of sense. It protects us, protects our own integrity, and makes whoever we are servicing to trust us. So because of this, they are beginning to use the blockchain. In fact, there are companies now that already provide real estate services with the blockchain. Okay, and it's super amazing. So you want to buy land, you want to buy a house, you want to get something, the documents, you just pick it on the blockchain. And because on the blockchain, the real transfer has actually happened on the blockchain. And of course, you have to get a legal lawyer there, someone from the government arm, to be sure that all these other bodies are aware of this whole process. But what is there on the blockchain? There's no need for argument. There's no need for. You just go there to log into your blockchain, put in your private key, and we can see a record of all these transactions that happen. In short, if it's a public blockchain, anybody anywhere can go there and see that this thing has actually happened, and there won't be any need for force or doubt. Then I've decided to keep these ones for last, but they used to be the first. Cross-border payments. Okay, cross-border payments. And this is one of the first key use. This is one of the key beautiful things about the Bitcoin. Okay, so I decided to keep anything about money for last. So cross-border payments. Imagine I want to send money to someone in the United States now from Nigeria. Of course, these things are becoming faster and faster by the day. But usually, no matter how fast it is, it takes a while. With the Bitcoin blockchain, we can already say it takes 10 minutes to create a block. So average, if it's too much, in 10 minutes, your money has gotten from here to the US. Whereas when you have to use a bank, you have to go through a lot of process to convert the money from this to this. And sometimes it can take days. Although this process are becoming faster anyway. So we can take the ball with the blockchain. I mean, and the most beautiful thing is this: with the blockchain, we ought to be able to transact with aliens. Elon Musk has said he is working on Mars and other things. Of course, we don't know if they use we don't know if the aliens will be using blockchain technology or whatever, but they've said they hope to be able to do transactions with aliens. I mean, send money even across from here to Mars. For some people might be on Mars and they can be doing some financial exchange with people on Earth. That's another long story for another day, but they are really working on doing these things. But cross-border payments, you can send money to Iraq, Iran, without really worrying about a lot of whether Nigerian banks have this quick exchange with Iran. Don't need to worry about that. Just put your money in Bitcoin, send the Bitcoin to the person can take Bitcoin to his own fiat. Of course. So that is that cross-border payment. Then cryptocurrency exchange. This is another current application of the blockchain. So currently we see things like Binance. I've been saying Binance before. Since you've been wondering what is Binance. And for some of you that are currently in Nigeria, at least you should have heard of Binance after so many posts on social media and all that. Anyway, so there are some people, some companies that build their system in such a way that through them you can easily have access to cryptocurrencies. Okay, so one of them is Binance. So Binance is a very big exchange, my favorite exchange. Okay, there's Bittrex, there are a lot of other ones. So but there's Coinbase also, but there's Binance. So these are cryptocurrency exchange. What a cryptocurrency exchange basically is an exchange that has so many cryptocurrencies holding. So what you just do is you just go there, you can change your fiat to cryptocurrency. And so you have some Naira. Imagine now you said you want to get some Bitcoin. I've been talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about Ethereum. Let's say you want to get some Bitcoin for yourself. You have your money in Naira, how do you get it? Usually it was going to be stressful. You have to start looking for who is interested in selling. But now just go to an exchange and exchange your money for Bitcoin and all of that. Okay. So of course I've not really talked about what cryptocurrencies are so far. I've not really told you what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum. Remember I said Ethereum is a programming language. How come there's something called Ethereum coin? What is really it? So there's a lot of, see, I've not really explained that. Okay. So I'll explain to you the Ethereum coin is actually called Ether, but I'll explain to you all of that and another what we really mean by cryptocurrencies, because from the way I've been painting this whole blockchain thing, they seem as if they are solving a problem. For instance, I talked about MDT now. MDT, they are like they produce a software like Gmail where you can chat and interact. I talk about Audios where they produce a software for musicians to come and put their music on their platform and do a lot of things easily. And I talked about Cardano, I talked about the rest. So what do we now mean by cryptocurrencies? Because this blockchain looks like projects that are solving real life problems. So where's the whole idea of investing in this coin, buy this coin? What does it now mean? So I'll still come to that, okay? I'll come to that subsequently. So, but you can see, it might not be in this particular chapter, but I'll come to that, okay? So we can see Binance, for instance, is an exchange. So on this exchange, you go and buy some of these coins. Alright, I think I'm feeling someone is looking at me and it's like, come on, tell us what these coins are. Tell us what these coins are. So I'm just going to say it immediately, okay? Now, remember on Cardano, when I was talking about Cardano, I told you that they use proof of stake algorithm, and at some point someone needs to stake some amount of tokens, isn't it, to be able to be at least the first chosen slot leader, to be able to give the higher preference, to have a higher probability of being chosen to create the next block. So the idea is, what do they stake? So to be able to manage the Cardano ecosystem, the Cardano created a token called ADA. So ADA is the Cardano coin. So it's this coin that they are going to stake to be able to now to be able to select who is going to be the next to validate the block. When I was talking about the Cardano project, you understand now, they use proof of stake. They stake some tokens. So what token do they stake? Is it going to be dollar? Is it going to be naira? Cardano has their own token called ADA. So the idea is, why do people now buy ADA? The idea is this: as Cardano keeps solving more and more problems, this ADA is like, I don't know how to explain it. As Cardano keeps becoming useful, a lot of people want to get more ADA so that they will be part of more of the node. They'll be they'll be part of the node and they'll be able to validate more blockchain, because Cardano is solving more and more problems. So a lot of people want to use Cardano's blockchain. And a lot of people are using Cardano's blockchain. A lot of miners are interested in Cardano's blockchain. Okay? So that they too can validate more transactions and do more things. And a lot of people begin to get more ADA, and then the price of ADA begins to rise. Because when demand is great and there is a supply limit, or even if there's no supply limit, but if demand is rising faster than the supply, then the price of that thing begin to grow. So people buying ADA, for instance, when they say I invested my money in ADA, what they basically did is to buy ADA and hold, knowing fully well that this Cardano is a young project, it's just starting. Just imagine Amazon when it started, or Facebook when it started. Knowing that Cardano is just starting, and this ADA, which is the token of Cardano, is still very, very cheap. Okay, so once I invest my money in ADA, even though I have no plan to use it to go and stake or something, I just put my money in ADA and hold it. As Cardano keeps solving more problems, Ouroboros, Rina, and the rest, the valuation of their token will definitely, because people will begin to demand to use the Cardano project more for their businesses and the rest, the valuation of their token will begin to rise tremendously. There's one token I was talking to you about. There's one project I was talking to you about, Solana. I love Solana so much. I'm not too sure, but I think Solana as of now can take about 50,000 transactions per second. I'm not so sure. I will confirm that. Okay, but you can also check the speed of Solana. But Solana is a very amazing blockchain project. It's one of the most amazing blockchain projects we have seen today. As at the beginning of the year, one Solana was worth $2. One Solana was worth $2. Of course, people were using, but as Solana solved that speed problem, of course, Cardano, if you can remember the speed of Cardano, currently Cardano can take about 200 and something transactions per second. Ethereum is still at about 20 transactions per second for now, without ETH2. Whereas Cardano, I believe, has gotten to tens of thousands of transactions per second already. So a lot of businesses are trying, new businesses that are trying the blockchain, that are ready to take the risk, they are using Solana for most of their things. Okay, so therefore, the Solana has a token that they use in their own ecosystem, their own proof of stake, say you get to manage one or two things, they have their own token, which is different from the normal fiat. And they also have their token, which they use to reward miners. So, Solana. So that token is SOL, Sol. And at the beginning of the year, Sol was valued at $2, isn't it? So the beautiful thing is this: why someone now says, "Wait, I'm going to invest in Solana." What is this person doing? This person does not have any idea, or have any plan to say he wants to go and stake, or wants to go and is part of the Solana project. His computer is verifying the Solana node. He's not doing anything, but he believes that because Solana has solved the speed problem, and Solana is solving some every problem, a lot of businesses will be moving to Solana, and people will need this Sol token to be part of the node and to do a lot of things. So this guy goes to buy Sol token at $2 and just hold. He's not going to be part of the node, he just holds it. Currently, as we speak, one Sol token is ranging between $30 something, I think between $38 to $40 something as we speak currently. From $2 it has come to this amount of dollar. At the beginning of the year, before the beginning of the year, it was way lower than $2. It was lower than $2, not so way lower than $2. It was lower than $2, but now it's at $38 to $40. Of course, following the small Bitcoin dip that happened. But before the Bitcoin dip, this year, Solana was about $60 something, which is almost about over 30x, just from January till now. So when someone say, I invest in a coin, each project, they are solving a problem. They have a token that they are using in their ecosystem. And people need this token to do things on their ecosystem. Okay, so when someone say, I'm investing in this coin, it means they're just buying the token of their ecosystem, knowing fully well that as this ecosystem begins to expand, people are trying to do more things. There will be high demand for the token of the ecosystem, and the price of that token will go up. So this is cryptocurrency investment, kind of. So this exchange is like Binance, which is the reason why I had to go and explain that. This is the same thing for coins like Ethereum and the rest. Okay, Ethereum also, the Ether coin is used by on the Ethereum blockchain. As the Ethereum blockchain keeps expanding, the price of Ether coin keeps growing. In Naira, currently, I think as of last year, Ethereum dipped to about 36,000 Naira. Currently, as we speak, even upon the Bitcoin crash, one Ethereum is over 1.2 million Naira. I think so, around 1 point something million Naira as we speak. From 36,000 Naira dip last year after the Corona dump. What is causing this price to rise? Demand. Ethereum is solving more problem. Demand is high. Of course, this is not the only thing. There are a lot of other things at the back. Some Tether manipulations and the rest. But that is for investment and trading class. But for this, the core idea is in the long run, Ethereum, there was a time Ethereum was about just $2, just like Solana. $2 then was about 720 Naira. Even at this one point, even if Ethereum is going to crash from this 1.3 million, I perceive it, even if it's going to crash, it can't go below 200,000 Naira. So in the long run, the price keeps going up because more and more people keep coming to the ecosystem to do things. And the price of the token, people need that tokens. Demand keeps increasing. The tokens price will go up. So this is what it means when people say, I invested in this. Okay? So, but now, how can I invest in Solana? I'm not using Solana for anything. I'm not going to do proof of stake on Solana and the rest. I'm not even relating to the Solana company. So how would I buy some Solana token? Maybe like now, Solana is ready to do 50,000 transactions per second. And I really perceive, oh boy, Ethereum at some point was $2, but now Ethereum is over 2,000 something dollars. Very massive gain. Solana at the beginning of the year was $2, now it's $38. This guy too can get to 2,000 something dollars, which me personally I believe, because Solana is crazy. So someone now say, wait, I want to buy Solana. I'm not trying to do proof of stake or anything. Where can you get the Solana coin, which is Sol, S-O-L? Where can I get it from? There are now people called exchanges, where they get the tokens of these coins that are solving problems, which people that are supposed to be staking or doing something on that coins platform, on that blockchain platform are supposed to be using. These exchanges now have a lot of all these coins, and they sell to day-to-day people who are interested in just investing, or perhaps who are still interested in coming here to stake and all that. So, but they just provide the coin access to more people. So that is what this cryptocurrency exchange do. One of them is Binance, and it's one of the craziest projects we have now because they are doing so much. As we go ahead and discuss, we'll meet the Binance Smart Chain, which is the chain that's trying to compete with the Ethereum's blockchain. So it's crazy. Of course, Cardano is competing with everybody's competing with Ethereum, because Ethereum is like the mother. But I know Ethereum will persist. And something like Binance too will hold strong, and Cardano will hold strong, and Solana will hold strong. Everybody will be there, but they all still agree Ethereum is the mother. Okay, so let's see. So basically what Binance does is now to provide that interface where you can begin to get some of all these tokens, even though you don't have any plan to join the node, but you can buy those tokens and keep in some wallet. okay, and then be able to buy those. So this is what Binance and the other exchanges are doing. Now the beautiful thing about this is it doesn't just stop here. Currently, I think it was early this year, Binance test run something where conventional stocks, real stocks, I mean, you know what I call stocks now? Stocks like Facebook stock, when you say you buy shares in Facebook, Amazon and the rest, real stock can be traded with cryptocurrency on the blockchain. This is very, very crazy. So Binance test run is where you can use Bitcoin to buy the stock, and the stock we tried with was Tesla stock. That time when Elon Musk was saying he was tweeting about Bitcoin and the rest. So Tesla stock, they tried it, and of course they have to go out of it because there was a lot of volatility and the rest. But I know in the next few months now they're going to come back to this. And the very, very beautiful thing is a lot of other stocks will begin to start trading on the blockchain. So that means the stock market will start moving towards the blockchain. And that is going to be very, very crazy. But it's something we need to watch out for in the nearest future. Alright, so there's so many things. There's decentralized finance where you can borrow loan. You want to get loan now, you don't need to worry about collateral, you don't need to worry about I don't have a national ID card, I don't have BVN, I want to get loan, I need 2 million. For instance now, based on your bank account, there's even a limit to the loan you can get from normal bank. But on the blockchain, if you want $100 million, you can get it. It's very, very crazy on some platforms. So there's something called decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, trustlessly doing business with people. Of course, they all have their rules and protocols, but those rules are very, very cheap compared to the rules the banks give you. So there's a lot more advantage of the blockchain, which I don't want to touch here because we must touch them, especially decentralized finance. We must touch them. Currently, I and some of my friends are working on a decentralized finance project called Kabura. If you check my Twitter page, you will find it there, Kabura. So you see it there. So it's going to be amazing. It's an Arabic word, and we really hope to be able to do something out of it. Of course, it's easier said than done, but we really, really hope to be able to do things out of it. But there's what we call DeFi, and decentralized finance is crazy now. So, but I wouldn't want to go into that. So, I don't know. I've said so much, and there's so much more to be said. But I just have to stop at this point so that this video doesn't get too long. But the blockchain space is expanding and solving more problems. Think of any field, and blockchain can be used. Think of any single field. Think of history. Think of record. Think of churches. Think of religion. Think of every single field. The blockchain can be used to solve a problem there. And the crazy thing is, the blockchain is just so young. Just imagine when internet just came out and so young. So a lot of all these projects, Solana, Binance, Ethereum, there are so many projects. They're just trying out one or two things. Let's see what will work. Many of them are going to fail, like a lot failed when the internet came out, but some will strive. And so those that strive, you can imagine how they will revolutionize the world, just like Amazon, Facebook, and the rest have revolutionized us. So I think it's one key field you want to put interest in, because it's going to disrupt a lot of things. It's going to change a lot of things. The way we bank, the way we are being governed, the way our health system is being managed, it's going to change a lot of things. So it's something you really want to look at, especially as someone that claims to be techie. You don't want to keep your eye off this, because imagine you're a web developer now, you're building things with conventional database, and in the next 10 years, you really realize that you should have been on Web3 instead. You should have been learning Web3, or the blockchain came up easily. You really, of course, you would need to switch, and you will definitely switch at some point. But the beautiful thing is, you should not keep an eye off this. So some of us, we are taking the risk already, even though it is not yet clear what it shall be, but we are taking the risk to already go into the field. Because if it's successful, there's going to be a beautiful thing for us. Of course, if it's not successful, which is not an option, then who knows. But I know it's going to be successful because it is just solving a problem. And whatever solves a problem will end up being successful. Alright, so enough of the applications. Let's see some real life scenarios. So all these things I've been saying, are there companies that are doing this already? There are so many companies that are doing this already. I'll just give us some typical example. We have Bostik. Okay, I just picked this from a site online. I'll provide a link for you. Okay, I'll provide a link for you guys so you can check it out yourself and you can Google it out. So we have Bostik. Bostik. You can see it in the slide. Okay, Bostik. So Bostik is an healthcare industry located in Denver, Colorado, and basically, Bostik. Okay, it's actually called BostIQ. Oh, sorry. So BostIQ's big data blockchain contract help patients and doctors securely transfer sensitive medical information. Of course, smart contract establish the parameters of what data can be shared and even display details of personalized health plans for each patient. Of course, this is similar to what those things I explained about health in the early plan. But to tell you that a company called Boost IQ is already doing this. So it's not as if we are dreaming of it. It is already happening. You can check Boost IQ out. So they're using big data, AI, machine learning, a lot of things, and I believe they'll be using bio-wearables very soon. So they can guide you on an health plan. So when you have a personal doctor now, your personal doctor, of course, if you decide to give him access to your blockchain, can be tracked as you are working in class, doing everything, if you decide to give him. If you don't decide to give him, or whenever you decide to give him, he can just tell you, okay, can I see some of your data for the week, your past 1 week? So your IoT or your body or your bio-wearable, whatever, has transmitted data to the blockchain server, and you choose to release it when you want to release it. Because that's the problem. IoT is coming. But the problem is if blockchain doesn't speed up, then our data privacy is going to be useless. Because IoT, we can't escape IoT. IoT is going to come where we have some bio-wearables and that will transmit some data somewhere, to some database somewhere. And if there's no blockchain to help us secure that, then we're all in trouble. So we really hope the blockchain can speed up and be here at that scalable place so fast. So with the blockchain, you can just be everything you've done during the week. You don't need to worry so much. You just allow your personal doctor to access some of those data. It can really track, okay, this week you've been healthy and all that. So Bostik is already doing this using big data and the rest. AI, machine learning, data science, big data. I mean, it's all over the place. So the blockchain just makes it secure, transparent, and decentralized. So then Civic, of course, Civic. Civic, they have a coin, Civic coin, CVC coin. This coin is crazy. It jumps up like crazy. So Civic, they're a fintech company located in Palo Alto, California. Sorry, those of you watching from the United States, sorry for my pronunciation. Palo Alto, California. And it's using blockchain basically to give individual insight into who has their information. Now this is very crazy. It uses the blockchain to give an individual insight on who has their information. Of course, you are doing a lot of things on the web. You visit one website, they will tell you we use cookies to do one or two things. They've plunged some of your information one way or the other. Civic is tracking all of this using the blockchain. Of course, the company users enters into smart contracts where they decide who can share their personal information and how much. If the contract is broken or an authorized source tries to access private data, the individual is immediately alerted. So a lot of things. So perhaps you're doing something on the website that says they use cookies and okay, you say okay, you're doing all these things and all that. Some of us don't even know the effect of some of this data, but those of us in the data world, I mean, it's crazy. Really, those in the machine learning AI data world, they know a lot of data that's been extracted from people daily, and they know how this data can be manipulated. So it's very, very crazy. So, but with something like Civic, they can help you track your data online, who has your data, and if you can choose to authorize those you want to have your data. Anybody that has your data that is not supposed to have it, you will be alerted, and all that. Of course, this will only totally materialize when we all are using the block Web3. Otherwise, some people will still be able to sip in one or two things. But when almost everybody's on blockchain, then this is going to fully materialize. But already Civic is working on this, and they have started already. I remember last year, they even said a lot of things, gave us an opportunity to come into the platform. And one powerful thing about blockchain is incentivization. That's one crazy thing I've not really mentioned since. Incentivization. I don't know, anything like that. I don't know, but incentives. With the blockchain, you get provided with incentives. That's the powerful thing about cryptocurrencies. So Civic, for instance, when they wanted us to when I wanted to join Civic for the first time, they did what they call an airdrop. If you sign up on Civic and decide to use our blockchain, we will give you so amount of CVC coin. Of course, what is CVC coin? CVC coin is that coin where all those people running their nodes on the Civic blockchain and doing their things. Civic coin is supposed to be for those people running the nodes and all that. But Civic coin is money, of course, because people have to exchange their money for it to get it to run nodes. And people that mine are going to be rewarded, remember. And people that are rewarded, sometimes they might need to cash out, so they will need to convert CVC to money. So in a way, CVC is money. It's an asset that can be converted to money. I don't want to use the word asset anyway, but it's something that can be converted to money. Okay, so the CVC blockchain say, look, if you sign up, we're going to give you some amount of CVC for free. Even though you're not a node, you can just keep it in your wallet, and anytime the price goes up. And I believe from that time they gave me CVC. CVC should have gone about 100x. Gone up 100 times. That time they gave us that CVC. Although I couldn't complete the registration then because they require a lot of more things and the rest. So but the idea is the cryptocurrency can incentivize people. I can have a YouTube channel now and say each time you watch my channel I will give you some Owame Pulse coin. What is Owame Pulse coin going to be used for? Perhaps Owame Pulse coin, I have some other things where usually you would have paid for. But you can pay me in this coin instead. I'm a software developer. When you need me to build the software for you, you need me to consult for you on one software or something, you pay me usually before. But I say if you have some Owame Pulse coin, I can pay you. And the beautiful thing is by just watching my YouTube channel and subscribing, you get some Owame Pulse coin for free. And with that coin, you can pay me to build the software for you. So you see, so incentivization, that's one of the powerful things about cryptocurrencies. Okay, I just said I should digress into that. Then real estate, we have a company called Propy. Propy, located in also Palo Alto, California. Propy is a global real estate marketplace with decentralized title registry system. Of course, this sea of O thing. So Propy is already doing this. It's a global, of course, when they say global, it's not just because of the power of the blockchain. Propy is not just located in a place. The usual fear is I can't buy land from someone that is not in my, I want to buy land from Lagos. And I have to be in Lagos and I have to see the land and I have to use a registry system in Lagos. But with the power of the blockchain, which is we can do cross-border, Propy is a global. So Propy, they have branches all over. So you can be in Miami and be checking some land in some new place at the Arctic region. Or you can be, I don't know, you can be anywhere in Colorado, in Texas, and you're checking some land in Rome. You're checking out some land down in India and using Propy. And because Propy has an agency there in India also, with the old title registry C of O system, with your lawyer, and of course a representative from the government, you can buy land from India without going to India. You can have a farm in India, employ people working on your land, working on with your house in India, doing things there. You can even have a building there without having gone there yet. And you trust that this whole thing is working fine because the title registry is on the blockchain. Propy is already doing that. Okay, they are working on that currently. You can check Propy out. Then there is Hyper. Okay, Hyper. See, there are so many. I just picked a few. There are so many. There's Hyper, and the beautiful thing is these people are this field is still so young. Has a lot of potential that can be harnessed. So young. This Hyper. Hyper is an Internet of Things and cyber security company located in New York. So basically, what Hyper does is Hyper tracks cyber security risk in IoT devices with decentralized credential solutions by taking passwords off a centralized server while using biometric and password-free solutions. Of course, this is crazy, and this company makes IoT device virtually unhackable. Now, what is the current challenge we have with IoT today? Tell me. You have an IoT device in your house. You have something like Alexa. Alexa. Okay, Alexa. You know Alexa now, kind of. Alexa from Amazon. So you have Alexa in your house, and Alexa is helping you do one or two things in your house. Washes your clothes at 9 a.m. Do this for you. I don't know. Runs the washing machine at 9 a.m. Basically, Alexa uses AI. It's connected to a lot of your home appliances with IoT, isn't it? Now, the crazy thing is this. Once you start, of course, the world is then growing into that AI age. So once you start using Alexa for most of these things you are doing, the big problem you have is that some hacker somewhere can hack into this IoT device. The IoT device connecting your AI to your equipment and the other. So you might put on your fridge, and hacker can hack into your fridge or through your door. Of course, most of the problem we have with all these IoT doors where you just walk in and it senses you and open is that some hackers can hack into the door and open your door even when you're not at home and do a lot of things. Okay, hackers can hack into IoT devices. You can have a logistic item being transported on the road. Some hackers just hack into the camera and shut the camera down. You can't even track your device anymore. They attack the driver and take the whole bus away or something like that. We see this IoT people hacking into systems. Okay, so one of the key problems with this is password. So there are a lot of ways people have been able to manipulate password. Even though you use the hashing function to hash a password, put in database, some hackers can go to your database, fetch that thing you have hashed, and use an algorithm to rehash it back into what it really is and use it to log in. But they don't even need to rehash it back. They just need to match it with any form of way that could give them a password and all that. They can play around with it. But see what Hyper is doing. Hyper is making the word passwordless. You can log into something without using a password. Of course, remember when you try to sign in and say sign in with Google, what happens temporarily? Google will generate one kind of password for you and all that on their own central server and the rest. But with Hyper, you don't need any password. All your personal identity and everything is on the blockchain, and they know how they manage the whole system. Just imagine your IoT devices, your cooker, your whole thing that you connect to your house with your AI and everything. You can operate them without any login at all, without any password or anything. This is so beautiful, and Hyper is already working on doing this. And because of that, it's almost impossible to now hack, because one of the key things about hacking is breaking into a password system. But imagine something that doesn't have a password. So where are we now breaking into? It's as if a house that doesn't have a door. It's crazy, and the house is still protected. Ha ha ha. So they need to be another level of hackers that we try to start figuring out that. Anyway, when that comes, I believe the blockchain will be ready for them also. So Hyper is already doing this, and that's beautiful. So there are a lot more companies, but I'd like to stop here so the whole thing doesn't get too long. But down here you can see a link which I've provided. You can check, bulletin.com. No, is it bulletin or builtin.com/blockchain/blockchain applications. So you can check it out and really see. I'm going to try to provide it in the comment section for those watching on YouTube. Now, of course, from all these things I've shown you, you can see that the blockchain has grown beyond just money. So you can see why the title of chapter 2 is Beyond Just Money. The blockchain has grown beyond just money. Alright, I want to congratulate you for finishing this chapter with me. I'm going to drink water now. Like I said, if you have questions, you can email me, okay, the questions, or you can chat me through the e-learning platform of the Pan-Atlantic University for registered students. Those who are watching via YouTube who are not registered, you can drop it as a comment, and of course, or you can tweet me. You can follow me on Twitter and then tweet me, send me a private message on Twitter, or however you want it. I don't know. I might provide my mail also, so you can email me in case you want, and we can schedule meetings to discuss some of these things in case you have questions and you're interested. All right, so that is the end of this chapter, and let's take a little break and we look at the third chapter of this introductory part. Thank you.